Okay, now the next topic is assumptions relating to consumer equilibrium. So first assumption is, what are the assumptions of consumer equilibrium? So as it is a social science, we have to assume some things to determine the consumer's equilibrium. To determine consumer equilibrium, we have to assume something about the consumer. Okay, to reach the consumer's equilibrium, that means to reach the best positions of the consumer, we have to assume some things. Okay, so what we have to assume some things? We have to assume some things that the consumer is rational consumer. What is the meaning of rational consumer? Rational consumer means, rational consumers are those consumers who always try to maximize his satisfaction. Rational consumer means he is not a mad person, he is not a fool person. He is not a mad person, he is not a fool person, he is a intelligent person. He has a full knowledge about the market. He has a full knowledge about the market. He has a full knowledge about the product. He has a full knowledge about the price of the goods, quality and quantity of the goods. That is why they are rational consumer. So rational consumer means, rational consumer always try to maximize his satisfaction, always try to maximize his satisfaction with his given income. That means whenever he goes to market, he will try to bargain with the sellers. That means he always try to reduce the price. He always try to purchase the goods with a less price and get some maximum satisfactions, and that is why they are rational consumer. The rational consumer means they have the full knowledge of the product, quality, price, etc. Okay, and that is why they will bargain with the sellers and try to reduce the price and get some maximum satisfaction. That is why they are the rational consumer. Next point is cardinal utility. These are all our conditions. Cardinal utility. What is a cardinal utility? When we measure utility, that means satisfaction, by numbers. When we measure or denote, when we denote the utility or satisfaction by numbers. Suppose I consume one samosa or one rasgulla, whatever goods. First one, my total my satisfaction or total utility, suppose 10. Second one I take, suppose my total satisfaction is 20. Third samosa or third rasgulla, suppose I take, my satisfaction or my utility, suppose 40. So in this way I am expressing my utility, I am expressing my satisfaction by giving the numbers. So when we expressing or giving our utility by numbers, that is called cardinal utility. We have already discussed it. That when we giving our utility, when we express our utility or satisfaction by numbers, that is called cardinal utility. So the second assumption is the second assumption of consumer equilibrium is we measure utility by number. That is why it is called cardinal utility. Third point is independent utility. Independent utility. What is the independent utility? Independent utility means my utility of samosa will never depend on the utility of rasgulla. My utility of samosa will never depend on the utility of rasgulla. Or my utility of, suppose, rice will never depend on wheat. Okay, so that is why independent utility means one goods utility will never depends on other goods utility. When I am talking about the utility of rice, that means we will only talk about rice. The rice utility or rice satisfaction will never influenced by wheat or rasgulla or samosa. Okay, so this is the third assumptions. The utility is independent. The utility is independent. When I am using mobile, that is that satisfaction, that satisfaction I am getting from mobile will never depend on pen, okay, or books or any other commodity or goods. The satisfaction that I am getting from a mobile will depend on mobile only, that will not influenced by any other goods. Okay, so that is why when we measure consumers equilibrium, our utility will be independent. Fourth is marginal utility is constant. Marginal utility of money, marginal utility of money marginal utility of money is constant. So what is marginal utility of money is constant? It is assumed that money measured the marginal utility of a commodity. As such, its own the marginal utility should remain constant so as to serve as an ideal measure. It is here assumed that the money measured the marginal utility of a commodity is constant. That means marginal utility of money is constant. What it means, marginal utility of money is constant? So marginal utility of money is constant means, suppose so taking an example, suppose a cup of tea suppose ₹5. A cup of tea is suppose ₹5. Okay, price of a cup of tea is ₹5. Whatever in any shop, if you go to any shop, you see that a cup of tea basically they charges ₹5. So if someone charges suppose ₹10, someone charges ₹10 a cup of tea, will you purchase it? We will never purchase it. Because we think that how much money I am giving to the seller, I will not get the same amount of satisfaction. That means by giving ₹10, I will not get the at least ₹10 amount of satisfaction. I will not get the same amount of satisfaction. I think that I will get ₹7, ₹6 or ₹5 amount of satisfaction, and that is why I will not purchase a cup of tea by giving ₹10. So where I will purchase? I will purchase ₹5. A cup of tea I will purchase when its price is ₹5, or it is ₹4.5 or ₹4 or less than 5. So when we think that our utility is greater than price, till then we will purchase utility. At least we will purchase the goods when price equals to utility. But if we think that price is greater than utility, then we will never purchase that goods. That is happens here, and that is why it is called marginal utility of money is constant. Because whenever we talk about satisfaction or utility, that means we spend some amount of money. Okay, that means utility we always regarded with money. Okay, and that is why we fixed or constant the term money whenever we measure marginal utility. Okay, next video we will discuss indifference curve analysis.